You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the July 24th, 2024 meeting of the LaPorte County 2025 Budget Hearing, Part 4. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
All right, we're gonna, Superior 2. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Is there any change? Oh, the only thing that is changed is the money for the jury fees were put into Judge Stallbrink's account, so he'll be administering that.
Requested that money be appropriated, and we're just the place for it to be planted for all the other courts to go to. I think we have two steps
Increase
that come through for 2025 as well.
Yep.
Motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Motion by Rosenbaum, second by,
One quick question, I think it falls in line with this, is the court reporter, it shows actually a reduction by almost
I
$9,000.
had a senior court reporter retire that had been there for several years, so the new one is brand new, so her, obviously without any steps, she's lower.
Okay.
I can take this offline with you later. About the bailiffs' positions and court reporters. How are they different now than what they used to be? And so we can talk, I'm just planting in your head that we can talk about.
And we can go in, it's a long
That's why I don't want to do it now.
story, because the bailiffs back in the day were people
Gun
with guns and
Yeah.
security, and because we've had to increase efficiency with computers and increase efficiency with less personnel, I think this budget, although now it's larger with the jury stuff, it's probably lower than it was in 1990. We've just had to learn to be more efficient, and the bailiff positions have morphed into more of administrative versus security. So
The question is, why isn't the title change also?
What's that?
If they're more administrative, why isn't there a title change?
Good question.
It's more state
I think it's just historical.
tradition.
It's state also.
You know, and I think there would be a desire for some of us to have more security in our courtrooms. 90% of the time, it's just us in there. There's no security. Security checks people at the door, but there's nobody in the courtroom.
And
with
depending
us.
on what floor you're in?
And it's one of those things that it makes a big difference when a uniform comes into the courtroom and all of a sudden everything gets.
The jailmaker.
Good thing here is orientated about.
Indiana Supreme Court too. It's not something that's gonna go away, guys.
They used to have those, not that very, very, very long.
You carried a gun in there.
What's that?
And he had to carry a gun.
We'll go ahead and knock out the auditor.
The
Bailiff,
Literally.
The bailiff.
auditor.
I forgot we did the matron then.
102.
Bailiff.
Matrons didn't carry guns.
I know.
I wouldn't let her have a gun.
102.
Five.
Hang on 1 second. Darlene, you gonna be ready in a minute? Okay, all right. Auditor's office.
He had guns.
So looks like a reduction in clerks due to steps. And basically $112
There's
increase to
actually
dues and lease.
5840 total reduction.
Yeah.
However, there's a couple things I'd like to suggest.
Oh, yeah, okay. Feel free.
I know this may sound self-serving, but
It is.
There
okay.
it goes.
The elected official is when we talked about some of the others, and if this is a very high functioning or high level person in a private sector, this should be a high level person in a public sector. So being the CFO, so that's some consideration to be made later. The other thing is possibly
What's he talking about?
professional services is to possibly put some amount in there for the different contracts. There is right now a proposal for approximately $180,000 worth of professional services, of which has been going through the commissioner's office. I'm not saying that we shouldn't go through the commissioner's office. I'm just saying that if you put 25,000 here, at least to start off, it will cover some of the small ones without having to go and request there. Here are the list of some of them. There is a group called Nyhart Youth.
Can I speak to this on your behalf, actually?
Please, actually be
Because
better.
I sent this, I communicated with Mike yesterday about this, and I think it's important. Shocking. You're applauding me. Thank you. You know, the auditor's office and the independence of that office is something I've, of course, represented, and I think that all the offices are important, all the elected officials, but it's important that since the financial function and the financial statements and the accuracy of the financial statements of the auditor can, if he needs to, contract. So Nyhart is related to, one item is related to pension accounting, the accounting for pensions. That's a fixed price contract of $7,300. We used them for a while. SEH is budgetary assistance. That's a not to exceed amount of $9,200. Maximus is related to 4D reimbursement. It's complicated to discuss. I'm not sure you want me to go into it, but we get about $140,000 back annually related to allocating our costs for 4D reporting essentially to the feds and the state and get money back from the feds. It's an $11,300 fixed price contract. We get reimbursed about $140,000. Then there's, we have used DEF Consulting, Dan Bowditch, for our tax abatement work, which is not to exceed $44,000. It's an estimate for next year. Baker Tilly Gap can be very expensive. That's a not to exceed $110,000 for Gap financial statements, all related to the financial statements. And then finally, the county was written up for a few years around not having a capital assets, keeping track of capital assets, and we hired Peterson Consulting at $4,300 fixed price for that. I would personally, frankly, recommend that the four lowest priced amounts here, the pension accounting, $7,300, the SEH, the budgetary assistance, although Mike, I don't know, Councilman Rosenbaum, I don't know if what your intents are with regard to using the budgetary assistance or not. But at the very least, the Maximus, the Nyhart, and the Peterson, and those are just shy of $25,000. So I think your notion of a $25,000 budgetary authorization makes perfect sense, because these three lowest price contracts are just over 20 grand based upon the estimate of their price increase next year.
What's just important to note is the commissioner's budget is actually quite underfunded to take care of all the contracts, if that's what is supposed to happen.
I think it makes sense. Commissioners, they tend to just move money around, so that's why it's underfunded. It's their own fault. But under the pretense of the commissioner in charge of contracts, that's why it's always been going through that. I totally agree that but there has not been a problem if you're getting any of these contracts from the commissioners. Have you?
Well, more recently, yes.
Which one?
Perhaps.
Which one?
Well, we haven't.
They're not paid.
Let's see here. It took us a number of months to get Maximus through.
Consulting. Okay. I'm gonna find out why.
Have not been able to get the DEF Consulting.
You just showed it to me.
Approved.
But even some that were approved to be paid in May haven't.
Right. So
Would that money come out of the commissioners? I mean, we're not appropriating additional, it'd be coming out of theirs.
No, we're asking for.
They don't.
This is not.
They-
Yeah. Okay.
But if they were to do it the normal way, they'd be funding it out of their professional services.
Correct.
So we technically could reduce their professional services.
You could, but you only appropriate $88,000, I believe, for their professional services.
Oh no, that's not the way it works. We reduce theirs if it goes in this fund. That's not how we don't.
Your
That's
call. That's your call.
That's exactly right. We don't play their game. This is a situation that they sign contracts. The reason why this always been in their account is because they're in charge of the contracts. If you guys want to change it, I really don't care, but that's why it's there.
Do you think
Doesn't
it
matter
makes
to me.
sense to have the contracts in the
About that, please let me address the first issue.
Would you like
Thank
to
you.
address?
Mr. President, while you're thinking about that issue, please let me address the first issue. I'll tell a little story, and I know Mark will remember it. Barb Houston was a commissioner one time and thought that the commissioners were working so hard that she should get full-time pay and benefits, and approached the council. I said, Ms. Houston, I would be more than happy to do that if you'll campaign on this issue and win. I'm gonna use the same thing for Mr. Rosenbaum. He knew exactly what this job paid when he campaigned for it. If he wants to campaign for a $10,000 pay raise 4 years from now, if he gets a chance to do that and you win, then I think that's the way I would move. Otherwise, I think you'd have to have a real solid basis. I don't see any way that we can possibly considering increasing the pay for the auditor at this point in time. I may not even have a candidate running against it.
Sorry, I may have misexplained
I
that.
understand you disagree.
No, I may have misexplained this. This is not about pay for the auditor. This,
No,
I mentioned
This is
that
stubborn.
first.
oh, you mentioned.
So he's coming back.
And it sounded like you agreed with it.
Hey, if he's getting an increase, I want an increase.
Yeah.
Is that what he was suggesting?
Oh, just kidding.
No, the reason why I mentioned it, because we talked about other people, other department heads, is we've had them come up, and so I decided to make them a mention of it. What people decide, I'm not gonna decide on it. It's gonna be this group that decides on it, except for me. And the other thing that you could also choose to say is that because there is a certification that I have, and if you want to ever get certain people who are certified like I am in the future, you would put in some sort of.
There's no requirement to be.
There is no
There
requirement.
is no requirement to be certified to be.
Qualified and
Okay,
potential person.
all right. Those are 100s.
Yeah.
We're not doing 100s
Sorry.
today.
As far as our budget goes, or the recommendations for next year,
What do you want to do with the $25,000 that Jim?
we think it's important, but we're not gonna put
Professional services.
professional services.
I wish you had brought that up here when the commissioners were here, because then we.
All of you guys, I wish they would have done.
Exactly. If you'd have brought that up at that time,
Mentioned yesterday.
we think 20,000 or 25,000 should be removed from their professional services to put in the auditor's professional services.
All right.
We could have discussed that with them
I
here.
did not hear what you said.
Okay.
Then that's
To be
okay.
fair, the impression is that the commissioner's professional services line item is underfunded. still.
Absolutely, I agree.
So, I think it makes good sense to put the contracts with the office that they're, at least in this case, where that office has the ability to potentially sign those contracts themselves under certain circumstances. They should be the ones monitoring the price and asking for increases during the budgeting process.
But legal is, guys not on the thing, I mean, does the,
Last try.
and I'm asking this because I don't know, but can the auditor just sign any and all contracts you want?
There's a new state
Without the
law.
commissioners?
Justin knows it as well as I do. There's a new state law that just passed and became effective July 1st that says if you send contracts to the commissioners, they have a few weeks to evaluate them in good faith. If they don't, in good faith, tell you approve,
Or deny,
you
or
can
give you an
or
official-
deny.
right.
You can sign it yourself. That's the short version.
Okay.
Maybe you got a better explanation.
Pretty close, yeah. That's
But then again, you're mentioning again, it goes in front of the commissioners, and that's
You have to have your own budgetary. The one thing I left out is if you don't have your own budgetary authority and it's in somebody else's budget, then you can't sign the contract because you got to have the money.
Yeah, the
gotta have the
correction
money.
I would make to Mr. Staples' comments is that the new statute allows him to do it. If the commissioners don't have a certain set of reasons for saying no, then he can just sign the contract anyway.
I'd like to see this.
If it's in his budget. I'm sorry to interrupt
I
you.
believe that the law's changed, but I'd like to see how this goes with us, because
Is it
it's an
okay,
attorney question.
Commissioners too, even.
is it okay due to time constraints today that we
Yeah.
hold that item over? That seems like, I don't see us solving this.
Not without our attorney as well.
Well, I certainly think we could add $20,000 to professional services for the auditor if everybody agrees that the commissioners are already underfunded.
No, the commissioners move money around. That's what they do. If you guys want them to put money in all their accounts, they play a checker game with this thing.
Yeah.
That's not the only fund they do this with. I don't agree one way or the other. Trust me, they'll get money and they'll find it at the end of the year.
Right.
Or they'll come back in front of us.
They're gonna come back in front of us.
I turned them down many
I think
times.
they will.
Have I turned them down before? So have you.
Auditor's account 102, what would you like to do?
What's wrong?
20, oh, not us.
2s and 300s.
I'm saying that.
We can always add,
I make a motion to approve it with 25,000 put in for professional services. That's what I'd offer up.
Second.
motion by Keel, seconded by Corral.
25.
Yeah, 25.
As Andrew Jones would say. Huh?
And that, but, and if we do that, by no means, because one, we don't have the authority, but we're not saying you can go out and sign your contracts. The council said I can, and they gave me the money to do it.
No, it's
That is
just
all
to-
the whole legal thing that needs to be sorted.
It's just a place to
Right.
put the fee.
It's just to
record it.
cover the contracts that you do have a lot of other contracts that the commissioners have signed that you're doing now, so. All right,
Yeah, there's no authority to just sign contracts.
all those in favor say aye. Those
Abstain.
opposed?
No.
I'm abstaining.
But you knows.
Abstention.
One abstain.
One abstain, one no.
You vote on
Doesn't
the
matter,
council
I say
budget.
this.
You vote on the council budget. You didn't vote on a raise. You voted on a
He's
budget.
voting on his own budget and his,
Potentially my own budget.
okay.
How does ours get passed? I'm just saying. Anyway, all right. Moving on.
Well, if nobody voted on the council, if we all abstained on the council, we couldn't pass it either, so.
And leave it up to Tim.
Special dispensation.
Right. Next one is the bond payment, economic development lit. This is just the bond payment.
Speak to that, rather.
Moved it from the 20200 to 40121.
Checking branch.
Motion to approve. Second.
Okay, sorry.
Motion by Karanka, second by Keel. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Next one is real estate fee fund. This is just replacing 20200.
Second.
Motion by Karanka, second by Justin.
Yeah.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Next one is homestead property database.
Okay, this one's, yeah, I need an explanation. Sorry, all of a sudden it popped up and I don't know what 5,000 for allow remote claims program is.
Currently, it's paid for by IT. The Lao remote claims.
Oh, yeah, I did that.
But we said we would do that next year out of the homestead, which I'll tell you that fund number has to change, but for right now, that's what we have.
There's enough money in there?
Yes,
So that's a new thing.
yes.
That they're picking it up.
I covered it for this year for the initial setup. They're gonna pay the maintenance.
Okay.
This is a new,
Out of the homestead.
Yeah.
Okay.
It allows us to have everything remote and no paperwork, or a lot less paperwork. Everything will be saved on the Lao cloud.
Okay. Is that right?
Trust me, I set it up.
no, it's internal to our network.
Yeah.
More cloud storage versus remote.
Departments can do a lot more.
It's remote because the department heads will be doing the claims
Yeah.
as opposed to a purchase order.
Okay.
Department heads.
What's your pleasure? We have four options.
Motion to approve.
Second.
And no, it doesn't mean that council people can access law remotely from their houses, unfortunately. I'm sorry.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, had to go there, didn't you?
You had to go there.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you to the auditors.
Thank you, sirs.
Thank you.
Darlene, you okay if
Thank
we kick you down the road?
Yeah.
I can't.
Again,
Looks like on my schedule, you
Building maintenance.
want to, building maintenance, you want to come back up?
You're not gonna put that in at 115 over Purdue Extension? No.
Which number are we going to?
142.
What?
142.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
It's a tan type color.
Okay, thank you.
I don't think you heard him.
The dress code is different.
I've been schooled.
All right, where'd we leave off?
Let's see.
Everywhere.
Electrical
You brought us,
and building.
you brought us some information yesterday that
Back up.
Yep.
we all took a look at. So I think the main thing is the electrical needs to be more, if there's something that doesn't fall directly under electrical, then it needs to be recategorized. I think in the past, and you came in and you inherited all this, but in the past, I think,
Say electric, not electrical.
Electric.
Yeah.
We can change it to say utilities or
Well,
utility
right.
electric,
Well,
whatever you want it to
I
say.
think what we're talking about is moving them around out of different accounts. So what's currently being paid for out of electric that is not NIPSCO, IMP, REMC goes into either building repair, goes to wiring, goes to something of that nature. Like we were talking about, there's this repair out of community corrections. Granted, this was last year prior to your involvement. $63,000 that looks to be to DA Dodd for hydronic and steam repairs, right? Baseboard, hot water heat, not electric. You know, and it's it seems to be that, you know, as needed, that those what it comes across as being a service is more it's a different service, but it's some kind of contracted repair, so that we have something to budget against. So when we look at your, sorry,
No, go ahead.
so when we look at your 1.3 million for next year, and you talked about it's about $91,000 a month for
Utility.
the utilities, which is really about 1.1. Do we put that $200,000 somewhere else or another couple places, or what did you come up with after we spoke yesterday?
I would add more to electric repairs versus utilities.
So you don't have a problem if we shifted, instead of $1.1 million in electric utilities, we put the balance of that $200,000 into repairs wherever you say it needs to go. It's the same money. It's just that I think in the past, that was a place that
Everything
Right.
electrical.
things got pulled from.
I mean,
Right.
I don't know if we did so.
I mean, we had candles, lights, and I mean, that could all go to building repair.
Okay, so if you look at a screen real quick, right? So you got the 1.3. If we change that to 1,
1-1.
we change that to 1.1, and then repair to buildings.
There's major repairs, repair to buildings, they have quite a few repair.
Yeah,
With increase, let's go. Yeah. I mean, right now it is, you know, averaging $91,200.
So we get
But
that.
that's just NIPSCO. We do have IMP, which is the EMS and Rolling Prairie Highway, which isn't really that much, but
so when I looked through your January to June, everything was coming like about 88% of what you pay every month is utilities. That's IMP, that's,
Yeah.
you know, everybody and NIPSCO. And that seemed to be, and that is what comes out to about 91,000. So,
yes, close.
all right, so if we leave, if we reduce electric to 1.1, we take repair to buildings to 310 instead of being 110. Does that make you whole? Okay.
That will work. Yes.
Do we have any other accounts that are similar to that?
Any other what?
Accounts that are similar, meaning that they're in a similar situation to electric, where they're maybe not quite appropriated to the definition of the account?
Well, janitorial, which, right, Rhonda had
You've already
contacted
split-
me
we
to
got
break
that-
it down into
Got that split
services.
on ours already.
But I do have to say that I made a mistake in that breakdown because I did it really quick because I thought Rhonda needed it quick. But I really only need 10,000 of it to janitorial services, and
That's 31112.
yes.
You only need that 10,000.
Yes, because the only services we use is Spintech. They take care of our washer and dryers at the jail. And then sometimes we have like one of our vendors take care of our floor machines and repairs those. And I did an average on what those costs would be when I had more time. So I apologize for making that mistake.
Do you want that balance left back in
Janitorial.
20228?
Yes.
So that would be one
See what I'm
32
saying?
there and
Yes,
10
yes.
elsewhere.
I would like 132,000 in janitorial and 10,000 in janitorial services.
10,000. Got it.
So you mentioned the jail. As far as I remember, the sheriff's always come in front of us for the washer dryers. What
It's just the repairs. They actually pay if they
They
need
buy
to
the
purchase a
machines if they
new,
need to be replaced.
and they need to be repaired quite often. So far this year, I have spent like $4,500 on repairs.
I believe it. I just wonder
Yeah.
why that.
But they just got new ones, didn't they?
Yeah, as I'm looking to the sheriff's and his staff in the back, I believe that we just bought the equipment and then the repairs are all covered through maintenance. They're all nodding their heads yes. So
Let the record show.
We got a bunch of bobbing.
All right. Anything else?
Did you say 102 for janitorial supplies?
132.
132. Thank you.
I know it's a small amount at this place. We're talking about the big amounts, but radio repairs hasn't been used in the last 3 years. Radio repairs
Regular,
Radio repairs. You guys got
Oh, yeah.
walkie-talkie?
hasn't been used in 3 years.
that's correct. I did
In your
leave it
office,
in
when you're
there.
using the walkie-talkies, it seems like they need to be repaired.
They do.
People
Yes,
don't
we
answer.
do have- Actually, we need more than 500 because we need a whole set of
That's repairs.
radios.
You need repairs, you come to us, so that's repairs. In the last 3 years, I wrote that down.
That is correct.
You have spent,
I have transferred it into another account because we have not used it for repairs.
I still have
But you know, Mr. Yagowski covers his ears. As you get towards the end of the year, if you got some money left over somewhere, you can ask to have it encumbered towards that or do something. Or we can, I don't want to use the word transfer it, but see what you got at the end of the year to do something. I know you're going to be back anyway, so.
most often they're gonna end up with an invoice that rolls over the year. It should be there to cover that, which is kind of like what we ran into earlier in the year, right? Where we paid services that occurred in 23 with your 24 budget.
Right.
If you've got money left in your budget, encumber it over to where you can cover your 23 repairs with 23 money.
You're not,
Or 24
You're not
repairs
playing
with 24
catch-up.
money.
Yeah.
how many radios did you need?
Well, we have positions open for 8 maintenance men and
Okay.
probably, I would think
We have 3 in
10.
the office.
Huh?
We have 3 in the office for each of us, and then we have 2 that are stay
I
out.
should have said something. We had all those radios we gave and threw away.
So that's 5.
We're at least 13.
It's unbelievable.
Then we have a truck.
Are you sure they're gone?
About
Oh, yeah,
13.
they are. They tossed.
All right, how many?
About 13.
EMS.
They don't need to be high-end,
Gotcha.
No.
800 megahertz.
No.
Got it. All right. Anything else? Maintenance.
Yeah, one thing, my subtotal comes out with $10,000 more than what it's posted on the sheet, so I just making a note.
Hold on.
I'm at 2885, not 2875.
Thank you.
What? 2875, 233.
Okay,
That's what you're at?
Yeah.
I'll have to find. Okay.
Is that a motion, Adam?
Oh,
Yes.
with the corrections.
Motion to accept with corrections in the following accounts. 20028 increased from 99,400 to 132. Account 30040 reduced from 1.3 million to 1.1 million. 30299 increased from 110,000 to 310,000, and account 31112 reduced from 42,600 to 10,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Karanka, seconded by Rosenbaum. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Superior 3.
Adam, I'll have to check the numbers with you. but
Okay.
151.
What number?
Period 3 is 158.
Is that?
You're skipping Purdue Extension on purpose.
Afternoon.
Purdue Extension.
We did,
They already done?
Mr. Cunningham?
Purdue Extension yesterday.
Okay, thank you.
Scared me there. I'm looking out in the audience going, I don't see Purdue Extension.
Makes a Hoosier kind of nervous.
Does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, Judge, so we've got cuts in the following places. Just kidding.
I don't care, I'm not coming back.
For the life of me, I don't know where you'd find it.
It can only get better from here. That's So you don't really have anything other than steps?
Yep. I think that's the only increase.
What do you want to do?
Motion to approve is presented.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Rosebaum, second by Mr. Cunningham. Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thanks for coming down.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Who
Whoa,
does
whoa,
that?
whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh, they try to run out of there.
It's not them, it is a different people.
I know.
Yep. You gonna call lads?
Yeah, they're right there. Come
She
on.
can go.
Chingo.
Diane,
He stays up.
He oversees, he's the judge.
It's the same anyway.
Deb is the department head.
Presented with no changes?
This is new.
It's all new.
Well, I know, but so what do you want to do with it? It's all money that,
approve it as presented.
Second. Earl Cunningham.
And Toby.
did you second it?
Yes.
Questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
I really
Thank
thought
you.
you'd have more questions on that one, that was good. That's so too.
Told my staff I'd be gone for a half hour. I'm gonna have to hang around and just
There's
watch.
donuts and coffee over here if
Coffee
you
donuts
like.
right there.
Even garlics.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Superior 2 lads. If I'm not mistaken, we're up to the Sheriff's Department.
Yes, we are.
Run for the hills.
105.
15 minutes at a time, that's good.
It's a great support staff. None of them's coming with you, Ron.
Yeah, right, they're leaving you all.
Trying to run out with the judge.
Oh, 5.
105.
What am I missing here? Hang on a second. I gotta plug it in. All right,
We have to go to jail separate from this after.
105. Just out of, not that we're doing 100 accounts, but you have no step increases? Kind of odd with the department that big.
Yeah,
huh?
I've got some listed on my paper with step increases.
What rolls?
Do you see them?
I'm seeing increases, but I'm not sure these are steps because they're very round numbers. So if I'm looking at one for
Clerk?
10123, which is the your
Yeah, I've got it.
captains.
An increase of 2,500.
Yep, and I see a $2,000 increase.
Steps?
Right.
This one is too.
This is just more off your merit board rates than it would be from the steps that come out of the.
Patrolman and even 15,000?
That would make sense with the new pay matrix that you guys approved 2 years ago, which give us the big raises.
We don't like to use the term big raises.
Generous raises.
All right. And then that also explains the $10,000 reduction in your sergeants, sergeant's detective.
Right, younger sergeants.
Okay.
Yep.
And then patrolman. $15,000.
There's,
3.
what else could be different is last year was the first year we did lit.
Yeah, some of this could be in lit and some
it
of
was
this could
started
be
in-
transferred or moved over to lit versus the regular fund here.
And it didn't start until the middle of the year, so we
Correct.
had to do different positions, smaller amounts. So it really could just be that difference.
Okay, these are just, what I'm seeing is the differences from 24 to 25 as increases for the most part.
So what happened last year was Connie and I had sat down and broken out different people because it had to equal that 15% raise.
Okay.
So because it was April, there could have been 20-some people that we had to pay for 13 weeks, for example, or 13 paydays. And they would have come from various departments to make sure we got that amount. Whereas this year's budget was set by a certain number of people, and it might have been different people to get to those amounts.
An increase.
So that could be why it looks different. It may not be dollar changes at all.
Okay.
We don't set the rate, state does.
I'll explain.
They tell us what it is. And we...
What you like to do? What about the 2s and the 3s?
I also like to make a suggestion that on the 10112 that we add $5,000 to it. And make it 103,506.
Sorry, what was the line?
10112.
Chief Deputy.
You want to add what to it?
5,000. Small amount. Gets it over the south of the major.
Okay. Good with that?
With that change, I make a motion to approve.
Second with some additional discussion. Down in the 3,000s really. So I see computer repair and maintenance
Got moved
shifted
to a 300 account.
move to a computer account. Is that, we're kind of
Is that
confused.
just
here.
paper, is that just bookkeeping?
That was done by the auditor's office to clean up
Right.
bookkeeping, housekeeping type stuff.
Okay, I'm just, so you moved from a 200 account to a 300 account, both related to computers?
It's the same thing.
One's
It's the exact same.
service and one's a
Right,
material.
computer repair and maintenance. You
Should
moved
be
it to
a
a
300.
300 account. That's all that was.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
All right, motion by Rosenbaum, second by Karanka. Is there any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you. Next
Jumping to
item.
lit.
Lit.
Biggest item here is the pension benefits.
But that's the number and it's not being shared anyplace else.
Yep.
And we can absorb it in the total of lit, the expected lit.
Sheriff, you indicated that the pension estimate is higher than what was originally listed on.
Yeah, the 1.8 was for this year. Going into next year, I do have the exact amount that will be needed, and that is, find it.
I wrote down $1,953,593.
That is correct. Yep.
1539.
1,953,593.
Thank you.
3. Okay.
What was the reason for the increase? What was the reason for the increase?
It's just a yearly increase for the pension. It just went up a little bit, and part of that is just because of the generous raises that were provided 2 years ago. It's went up by, I think it's like 53,000.
And the step
Your
increases in
actual
Yeah,
raise
step
are
increase
figuring out what
is-
needs to be contributed in order to make it work.
Solvent, correct?
So you making a motion to put that in, or?
Yeah, I would make a motion to adjust it to the amount that was just listed, that 1.954 rounding up for the pension benefits.
Is that a motion?
Yeah, sorry, motion.
Second.
One other question, I'm noticing vehicles are not listed on here. Are you planning to come back later at a different point to ask for those? Or?
Yeah, we'll come back probably like we did last year, come back at the end of the year, maybe seek a motion of support to get the vehicles ordered. The vehicles that we ordered last year, we still have not received as yet. We were hoping maybe a June timeframe, but we haven't received them yet. So we're hoping to get them sometime in the fall. Once we get those and get all of them replaced, then we'll be able to go back and re-examine what we need for next year.
See if you're caught up. I just remember from the past, you had to have your orders in by April for the following. To order your cars April for the following year.
That's the way it used to be, but since COVID, the ordering window has been so hit and miss, and we're given a notice that the ordering window is going to be open for so long. And at one point in time, Chevrolet last year had to stop with the ordering because they got such an influx, and then it overwhelmed their system because everybody's trying to get their orders in for police cars because there's such a backlog. And that just all started with COVID.
So you and I had a discussion a couple of times about the fact that electric vehicles are where they're at, and they were trying to force them down the manufacturer's throat. Have you got any commitments by Ford, Chrysler, GM, or whatever they call the other Chrysler, but that they're going to commit to police cars? Because
I have not heard anything from any of the
what's the books? What's the cool sheriff magazine say or something?
But the
or your sheriff, or when you guys go to your meetings,
like Sheriff's Association, nobody has ever brought up battery powered electronic vehicles for squad cars. I personally would not be a big fan of them. Prime example, when Andy Snyder had the fire down here on Brighton Street, that his crew was out there for 24 hours. They had to bring fuel to fuel the fire trucks. Are we going to bring charging stations out? I'm not
an advocate. I'm actually against the idea.
Against it, right?
So when
it gets cold and below zero, and our guys are out dealing with crashes and slide offs, we just can't pull them off to charge the vehicles because we saw that when these cold snap comes, these electrical vehicles,
especially Chicago this last winter. So I guess there's your association does not do a lot of talking about Ford's or GM's promise to at least stick with some vehicles, or not really?
Oh, I'm sure they will, especially for like emergency services. We're not going to see any. I don't think it's going to be anytime soon that they're going to be pushing electronic vehicles or EVs in public safety anytime soon.
I'm not picking on politics right now. As you all know, there's one party wants to push 100% green, and the other. So no, but you can do that, Randy. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, what does it talk about vehicles? Never mind. I don't know why I ask questions.
Mr. Yagelski, to your comment, no, there has been not hardly any chatter about it. I mean, yeah. We see some departments that will get like a Tesla or something, just like when your brother was Michigan City, as a community policing tool more than anything.
Yeah, 6'5" guy in a
4-foot car.
We will not speak of that.
So, just going back to the vehicles, do you view this as something that's optional for you, replacing the vehicles next year?
Well, we always try to keep them on a rotational basis. By keeping them on a rotational basis, it helps keep the cost down. For an example, we usually try to do about 12 to 14 cars a year. If we were to get away from going a year or missing a year without cars, now we're going to need 24 cars the following year to make up for the year that we didn't get. Now, prices of cars go up every year. So if we missed that year, now we've got to go into the next year and we've got to get 24 cars versus 12. We're paying the higher price per each car. So it's good just to keep on a rotation and to phase them in and phase them out as we go through.
It's basically not optional.
Correct.
In a roundabout way.
I'd say it's not
highly desirable.
Highly desirable,
recommended.
Correct. Yeah, it's recommended.
So where I'm going with this is, if it's highly desirable and we plan to do it, we should put it in the budget. We should find a spot for it in the budget somewhere, whatever fund that may be.
That's a decision you guys would have to make. I would like to see it, but I understand. And I have no issues coming back and asking for the additional money if that's what.
I think one of the things that we need to look at is we've committed to 2 ambulances next year, so we know we got an extra cost in there. We need to look at that public safety lit budget to see exactly how many cars or how we're gonna fund those cars.
Right.
I'm not saying we're not getting the cars, but our funding mechanism might change a little bit.
So without the ambulances right now, we have a published budget of approximately $7.4 million out of lit.
The ambulances are in there already, I think.
That's what I was gonna say.
Are they listed, when I say I know already, is it in the actual public safety lit budget worksheet that you sent us prior to this?
I think so.
For
I'll
this
look,
year.
but I think
For
so.
this year, his cars are in there.
For this year? No, for next year. Is that what you mean?
His
Yeah.
cars?
His cars are in this year's.
Correct, that's what I'm saying.
The ones we ordered last year,
Right.
correct?
Yeah.
I think
You're
there's two,
talking about this year or next year?
I'm talking next year.
Next year, the ambulance is in there already, I think.
Okay, so
He had said without ambulance, that's why I wanted
It
to.
was two.
Do you have an estimated lit revenue number yet? Public safety.
projections.
Oh, public safety lit.
Do you know when the
You
DLG
work on that,
will leave
Jim?
those?
Crunches the numbers.
They didn't have it the other day. I'll look again.
Okay.
I'm looking at the other one right now for you.
Anyways, before we kind of off under that, I'd like to see that if we're gonna do it, we should find a place for it in the budget.
Right, and that would be the public safety,
Lit if we can.
we
do
can
it.
still come back to it, because we still got,
It's
obviously, I don't think we're gonna be
I don't think
finished
we're ready to do it today.
with our public safety lit budget.
So we-
That might be,
probably gonna be rough. We'll get it for you, but it's gonna be roughly a 4% increase based upon, I mean, the growth in incomes.
that's a pretty safe,
Yeah.
yeah. All right,
And we still may be discussing lease vehicles too. I mean, that was thrown out there the other day and the other night at the council meeting, so.
all right.
But, nothing regarding those vehicles, but, just to give the sheriff a heads up, Amanda from the health department was here today and she mentioned about getting vehicles, about 8 of them. And I asked her about maintenance, where she'd be getting the maintenance, and she said probably the sheriff's department or sheriff's garage or, on her own. And I kind of thought, I don't think you're probably ready to take another 8 vehicles on.
No, as you're well aware, them guys are busy out there and they do a good job of keeping up, but this is the first time I've heard of that.
That was the first I heard of it too.
Yeah.
All right, so sheriff's public safety lit 1170, or the 300 accounts, there are only 200 accounts. Are we ready to?
Yep.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you. Next one is 227.
Oh, comment on that last, I'm sorry. Regarding that last was with the pension, and I probably needed to abstain on that item.
You want to do Joe?
Okay,
Well, that's where
the
the,
matter of record.
That's what's listed next.
Mark it down as an abstention.
Yep.
missing something.
We've misplaced the jail for the moment, so.
What are you looking at?
227.
The sheriff, we got one.
I don't have it.
145.
It's a blue tab. There's a glare on these, so it's hard to see. Any excuse, I'll make up another one.
All right.
Sheriff, you have a $47,000 increase to professional services.
That would be for our jail medical contract.
Okay.
How's that working out?
Great.
I mean, we used to constantly be hearing about, we need nurses, we need this, we need
No,
that.
this is actually great, and we're actually looking to maybe expand a little bit further, maybe in the dental aspect, and maybe eventually down the road in the mental health aspect with them.
Better benefit package
Correct.
for the inmates.
And, well, I'm looking at it as a cost savings for the county, but
You pointed at me for it.
I thought you had your hand up.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
He's just holding his head up.
The other thing is the juvenile center is in need of a nurse. And I know your contract with your medical provider is a little different than what they're doing, but they're looking to, they need like a contract nurse. Is that something you can talk to your provider with to see if they also have something like that or can recommend something to them?
for the juvenile center, we can definitely check with that, yeah.
Why you had that?
so
Shh. Hey, Come on up, mister.
Take credit
Can't
for
hide back there.
Exactly.
We provided that information, our current provider.
already got that?
We have two out there, so they can start those negotiations.
Actually,
talking.
so on my trip out to JSC this morning, we found out that they actually have an applicant right now too.
Oh, good.
Great. We don't know if it's qualified though,
Right, they have this piece of paper from.
because someone else had two applicants, but they weren't qualified. That's why she didn't bring it up earlier.
Did you have something, Mark?
Share that with the health department as well.
That's what it is.
Same information with the health department.
Have we? We have not.
No, there is.
Would you?
Do that.
Can't, yeah.
There needed nurses
Absolutely.
also, whether it would qualify or not.
Even a temporary or rent a nurse or whatever.
So the onset of going into contract with our current provider, I was part of that. I don't know if it's going to fit for the health department, but it's something.
Might not, but they need a different kind of nurse. I mean,
Maybe
Pretty
they-
innovative.
Yeah.
The company that we're in contract with, they're very innovative, so they may
might
be
say,
something they'd be
"Hey,
interested in.
We
Yeah,
can make it happen. We
Yeah.
can find you one.
could very, very well. Yep.
All right. What do you guys want to do with 145?
Stay with me.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Mullenhour, second by Mr. Rosenbaum. Questions?
You mentioned dental earlier. I see that it's fully expended already for your 2024 budget, and you're asking for the same amount. Is that because it's an upfront contract fee?
Took it from
I'm gonna say yes.
Okay.
Yeah. If that's why it's like that, then it's probably why that's like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Each time they visit, it's a fee, no matter the number of inmates.
Makes sense. And food looks like you're a little bit ahead of budget for next year, meaning that you're probably gonna have to come back and ask for money if
You know,
And we were just discussing this, I think it was last week as well too, and that's because the jail population's been up a little bit. I mean, when we scheduled this budget going into this year, we were down in the 330s for our population. Here lately, we've been in the about 370 area, so the population's up in the jail a little bit, which is causing us to spend a little bit more for food.
based on the statistics, you see that dropping at all for next year to where you
Well, we had been very consistent in the 330s, the low 330s, and just as we started to get into the summer, it shot up. We're hoping that will come back down, but
okay,
you know, that's as good as guess as anyone else.
Your medical hospital, you're doing pretty good on
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah.
Good. Fingers crossed. All right. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you. Now let's move on to jail lit.
Same issue, food, that's it, you know. Motion to approve is presented.
Motion by Rosenbaum,
Second.
seconded by Adam. Any other questions or comments on that one? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you.
We also have garage,
Yeah. So 140.
Security too, right?
What?
Security also.
security, courthouse security and garage.
Yeah. Two.
Wait.
Oh.
Oh, we gotta move. Yeah. 141 county garage. So we're going to the county garage.
So the difference here is one of the differences is adding a tool stipend for $1,000 per person. Correct? Anybody else have any comment on that?
On the tool stipend or anything as a whole?
Or anything? I just noting that it's different. I'm not saying whether I agree or disagree or the amount or whatever.
So last month I was down at the AIC conference with Councilman Rosenbaum, and one thing that was mentioned was, and it may not be applicable for this coming year, but there's a way to basically invest on futures in fuel. Meaning that you can buy into whatever the rate is on January 1st using the Indiana Bond Bank, to where if it exceeds if fuel exceeds the price of what you were in January, and generally you need to go by the 15 cent per gallon service increase. Basically, that's what they're going to charge you, is 15 cents a gallon on the futures. So let's say it's $3 a gallon on January 1st, it gets to $3.16. You can, or higher, you can get that back per gallon based on how many gallons you invest in on that rate. Maybe something to think in the future.
Yeah, absolutely.
For some of that, even though your fleet program, I believe, is still working out well with Family Express, it may be something to watch when we get crazy fuel costs rising again. So,
Are you locked in with the price with them?
No, but obviously we don't pay any of the taxes or anything like that. What you see on the marquee.
So it is a reduced amount.
Yeah, it's probably a little over $1 reduced than what you see on the marquee.
But the reduction is only in that the taxes are taken off. They're not providing any bulk discount.
Correct. Only if the taxes are removed.
Can I try negotiating any rate with them, since we're bringing them a pretty significant amount of,
We probably could, yeah.
Is that they try to only go there?
We try to only use the Family Express. What we try to stay local. Our fuel fleet cards are actually what they call WEX cards. They have the Family Express logo on them. They will work at any, what I'm going to call name brand gas station, a Speedway, a BP. Just for instance, last week when I was down in French Lick, there's obviously no Family Expresses down there, but it will work at a Speedway station. So they're actually a WEX card, not so much a Family Express card.
Just to get the tax discount on wherever you go.
Correct.
I'd be interested to see if you could get some sort of negotiated rate, just since
we can obviously, yeah, it doesn't hurt to try.
You guys got pumps obviously out at the barns?
We do not.
There's no fuel pumps there at all. Highway has fuel pumps?
I believe they do, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we need to bring that up with Highway next time. About Michigan City always bought on the futures, and so they were locked in for a year. This is what you pay for gas.
Right.
And it was with the tax off of there and everything else. So something to talk about.
We can look into that. We've got a good relationship.
But
We
if you
talk
guys
with them
don't
a
have
lot,
any-
so we'll be with them Friday, so we can start them.
I would just say that that's kind of a double-edged sword.
that's kind of where I was with this year, right? With the way that gas prices are right now, I don't anticipate seeing a rapid growth.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I think oil futures, I believe, are trading at a discount in the future, predicting that there's some more supply coming on as of right now. I mean, and it's a tough thing. It's a tough call.
How about if you just got MPERC cards and you get five
Motion
cents
to
off?
approve. They give you that larger coffee. You get the larger coffee when you're there.
Second, Mr.
Rosenbaum. Mullenhour.
Second by Kurt.
Big gulper. You get the big gulper now.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Next one is courthouse security 182.
Sorry, what did you decide about tool stipend?
We didn't change anything.
Okay.
as presented.
And the tool stipend is 4,000.
Correct.
As presented,
1,000 per.
1,000 per person.
Correct.
Yes.
He thought you said 4,000.
What?
No.
Thank you.
You're a little gracious there, Mr.
He was trying to get you. He was trying to get you at least 16.
Well, the futures of the oil's got him excited right now.
Stuck on the
I appreciate the donuts, actually.
All right,
And the pickle.
moving on. Courthouse security 182.
$9,000 for maintenance contracts and expended nothing. What are the
Again, those invoices will come at the end of the year. You'll see that on several of ours that we haven't spent anything, and then all of a sudden we'll receive the bill for it and get it sent out.
magnetometers and X-ray machines?
Correct.
So community corrections was here. They seem like they got a hefty bill on their scanner. Where do you pay your? You guys have a maintenance contract on yours?
For our body scanner?
For the courthouse security.
Courthouse security. I think we're talking about two different things.
The other one's down in the jail.
Yes, correct.
All right. So that's built in there. Never mind. Got it. I'm with you now. Still stuck on that.
Need more coffee?
No, we're good.
Motion to approve 182 as presented.
Second.
Motion by Cunningham, second by Karanka.
What are you coming at 3 or
Any other questions?
coming at 3 or do we know?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Next one's 1170.
All 100s.
Motion, oh,
All
all 100s, I'm sorry.
100s.
All right. What else have we got?
I think that's it for them.
That's it.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Went better than I thought. Thank you.
Thanks again for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the last few days.
Very
Yeah,
welcome.
right.
Very good.
Dinner, where'd you get dinner?
It was the extra sandwich.
Wait, you didn't get a
So, but I-
coupon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could
Don't
donate.
get a coupon.
Then I
He took a donut home.
Yesterday.
His wife goes, "Is that what we're gonna eat tonight?"
See you later.
See ya.
Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you for the emotional support in the back of the room.
yeah. Okay, get up there.
Dad,
When I-
Howdy.
hey, have we called, wait a minute, have we called Pioneer Cemetery and asked them to come in?
The answer is they don't usually come in ever. Their budget didn't change. She is in
She was,
a place for rehab because
she
she,
broke
yeah.
something. I
Sure.
One of her
corresponded with her
leg
the other day.
pieces.
So,
Yeah.
so the commissioners asked me to say something that,
Rehab.
okay. The commissioners asked me to say something, so that this last storm that went, okay, this last storm that went through, they had massive, large trees going, they broke the headstones. They're looking at some type of settlement for it, but they're gonna have some issues where they're gonna need some money up front to fix it, so I just let you guys, that was just.
And it wasn't a huge amount. That she was talking-
90,000, I thought it was.
I didn't think it was that, I don't think it was that much.
That's the one over there on Diane Drive, right off of Wozniak.
Yeah, she,
Should be two of them, there was two of them.
That cemetery was destroyed. All oak trees uprooted,
They're big ones. They're 100-year-old or 200-year-old trees, whatever they are. They're old ones. But anyways, she just wanted to tell you guys expect something on that, and we may have to front it before they get reimbursed for it or whatever.
So the state is here today, the damage assessment team. They're gonna be here 2 or 3 days this week trying to address all the emergencies. There's
Gotcha.
like 4 or 5 of them here.
You might want to let them know one of those cemeteries, I know it's just off of Diane Drive. It's in the
Diane
backyard
Drive.
of a couple of homes off of Diane Drive. Just off of Wozniak.
right, that's the one she was talking about. I thought,
There's supposed to be one more.
Okay,
But
I'll
anyway,
make sure.
either
sent
way.
me pictures and I could have sworn I asked her how much she was talking.
We
Man.
cover IT?
Increased by 4%.
Yep,
because it's
we're on to IT.
IT.
What number are they?
157.
157.
the what?
157 Riverside Avenue.
So,
Motion to approve as presented.
yeah,
The total of.
second.
Wow, you guys are so, sorry, I'm a little bit.
So, I mean, the only increases I'm
Maintenance.
seeing are maintenance contracts and computer supplies.
Duh.
All those in favor say aye.
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 You never go.
Those opposed?
Hey,
What was it approved?
Okay,
As presented.
as presented.
so I also have one of the employees that,
We're done.
okay, no, I'm just
Oh, I'm sorry.
giving you information. You let everybody else.
Who do you
give
have? Who do you have?
The network admin.
Okay.
And it went through the job evaluation committee again.
And it was approved?
It was approved.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So that'll be on the
It was-
next
You'll
agenda.
change, you'll update that on your,
Oh, I'll have,
On the August agenda.
should be on the August agenda.
Yeah, we pushed it to after
right,
budget hearings so that we can see what
And then
we're.
I'll update my 144.
yeah.
So for 2025, you're approving, and then for the rest of the year, she'll come to the meeting?
No.
Well, they are
No.
doing 100s, but I'll,
I'm doing, on our July,
August.
On our August meeting, we'll talk about it more and approve it.
All of these?
She's gonna update her, yeah. She's
Okay.
gonna update her
144.
144.
Yeah, absolutely, for 2025. Okay, for some reason, I thought you got it put all on.
You're not gonna go back and ask for 2 years previous?
I think it is retroactive, at least 18 months, isn't it?
Yeah.
Does anybody call him Mitch Bishop?
All right,
Did
all
you,
done?
I am, I do want to make a note that
I'm sorry.
when the prosecutor was up here, because, he is now going to be doing his
I
emails.
thought, I sent him all that information, and he says he's got it covered, so I don't know what he's gonna do.
Okay, don't worry.
So, Mark, I spoke to
Yes,
him
sir.
yesterday also.
Yeah. Where'd you come from?
We need that, we're gonna need that number, and we're gonna need to amend his budget for the number of licenses that he has, Darlene.
I have no problem.
That he has.
Right, we need to
Correct,
get
it'll
that
be
in.
covered up through July, of next year.
Okay.
From the additional appropriation that you guys already have done for him.
And I went up to the office and mentioned to the office too upstairs today.
Yeah,
So,
didn't get a straight answer, but.
well, she said we're only looking at 6. She said we're only looking at 6 months next year. So
we're pretty good.
Thank you.
you're looking at just for your information. You're looking at $1,705 a month.
Well, that's only just for the one license. It's actually $25.60 a month plus whatever
What's
the
it?
archive cost is.
Oh, we did not vote on it.
No, we didn't.
We talked about it, but
We
we did
started
not.
to
On what?
260.
Good move. Good.
cemetery?
Is it in here?
Oh.
260, Pioneer. Let's go to Pioneer Cemetery real quick. You done?
Yeah, I'm done.
All right, you can stay there.
Why are you
can talk
stopping
about
there?
Pioneer Cemetery.
I'm done.
Pioneer Cemetery real quick.
260 at the back. Orange.
Motion to approve is presented.
Motion by Rosenbaum,
Second.
seconded by Justin Keel. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
And any damages we'll have to figure out in the current year, once the insurance company goes through.
NERC is back there too if regional planning is back behind the green.
Don't have a green.
Which
The
one?
very last one,
Okay.
lit public safety.
Cume?
Well,
Of capital development.
back behind lit public safety, there's quite a few funds and one of them is the regional planner, 218. It might be the last page, mine's the first, there it is for him. Might be your last
So
one.
let's, you want to do the,
Get down there.
Got it.
you say,
95.
I just know it's an easy one.
95,000 moved between two accounts.
Only it has been requested to be a certain amount.
And this is the
Regional
fee
plan.
for NERC, correct?
Yeah,
Right.
as you all remember, for the first time in several decades, the General Assembly increased the appropriation for NERC. The exact amount is $96,679 in the year 2025.
96,679.
Yeah.
you-
It may be a
that's your
good idea
motion.
to round up, actually, just to be sure that these are the estimates from the fiscal notes of the bill. So if it was off by a smidge, we wouldn't want.
So would you like to make it 97,000?
Are you recusing,
what did he say?
97,000.
97,000.
I'll make the motion then.
Motion by Rosenbaum, seconded by Keel. What, good?
Sure.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
you have no pecuniary interest, right?
Exactly.
What else have we got?
Human cap development.
Opioid restrict, do we need to go through?
Did all.
What?
Where is it?
Let's do it.
It's not on our list.
It's at the end there.
Anybody called HR yet?
Has anybody called HR yet?
Oh, we're done.
HR.
What's that?
Perfect.
So I
Sent
don't
out
know
an
that
email a
she's
few minutes ago.
back.
Yeah.
Randy, I don't know that she might be back yet unless the assistant's gonna come over. She worked Hammond on another matter today.
Just take a look and see what she's got, see what we can do.
There's a request to make somebody full-time.
For an employee.
That's a 100 account.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Or 200 and 300 accounts.
Back to that.
Are we going to HR?
You just look at it right now.
Yeah.
Sure, yes.
162?
200 and 300 accounts. There's no change in that. You want that?
Not gone,
She's there.
Please.
there's no change in her 200 and 300 accounts, and we're not doing 100 accounts unless she wants to come over and talk, but she can do that later if she wants.
She's gonna talk about her one employee.
That's what I'm saying, she can come over and talk about that person, but it's a 100.
Yep.
It doesn't make a difference.
Depends on what you want to do.
If she motion to approve 200, 300 counts.
Second.
Motion by Rosenbaum, second by Keel for the 200 and 300 accounts for human resources.
And what was the, okay, good.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
What was your finding on her position? And her regular?
So what we ended up doing was increase to, I think it was from a comment 3 to a comment 4, if I remember correctly. Or was it 4 to a 5 for the?
No, it wasn't that high.
Yeah, it was the HR assistant to the full-time position. There was a request to look at both that and the
Receptionist.
and I believe we held off on making receptionist full-time price.
So this right here?
Yeah.
She wanted to come and ask us if we would fund it. And as right now, that person is working and they're gonna run out of money.
She's working full-time now?
Yes.
Yeah, which puts us in a bad spot when it comes to benefits.
If she knew this.
Too bad.
This is another one of these positions.
We expressed that we did not want.
Proud of that she knew about this when she took the position.
Part-time? The part-time person being full-time?
Why she's
Not yet.
already.
We didn't approve it.
Then why is she?
She was made full-time.
Who gave her
No
full-time
second
benefits?
person.
No,
This should be on.
we should probably have her
Yeah.
come in and speak.
We should
to-
talk about this more later.
Just come over.
Yeah.
Or we can, if it's a 100, we can do it another time. Are we done with, are there any other accounts that we need to take care of?
CCD
Some of those
is.
funds, yeah.
And those are 216.
You just.
After the public safety
I'm
tab.
not seeing that one. 227.
Yes, Justin. Very good.
227. Not seeing.
1138 is one I know, the blue tab at the back.
Red. It's yours blue, mine's red.
Cume cap,
Cume capital.
mine is blue.
Hers is blue.
So let's go to 1138, which is all the way in the very back. It's 1170. It's a blue tab.
Why is it double?
Without me looking this one up, does anyone know how that can be used?
So first I'm trying to figure out what it is.
Cumulative capital development, 1138, it's right in front of lit public safety in the back, the second tab from the back.
It's a red.
It's the last page.
We use it for big projects, but I thought it wasn't getting funded. The last
Wasn't getting funded anymore, but we still have money in the.
Right.
Yes, and for whatever reason, since I've been here, it was always budgeted 640,000
So we-
times two, even though there wasn't money in it, but there is enough money now for that. But for some reason, I was thinking, would police vehicles?
Sheriff's cars,
Well, that's a
any of
place.
those,
Or the,
That's what we used to use it for.
highway department,
So that-
different things like that.
That's why I was thinking, if you're looking for money for cars next year, if lit public safety doesn't work it.
Guy, did you want to say something?
We used to use it for the sheriff.
Hey, Darlene.
Last few years.
We can't hear you.
just a second, we gotta turn it up.
We gotta turn you up.
Right now.
We used to use it for sheriff's department cars 4 or 5 years ago before
Safety limit.
the change to economic lit.
Right.
And we also use it for highway vehicles too.
We used it for, right. And
I
then
know.
it wasn't getting funded.
It was short, I think, because of the levy, but
Right.
there is, if you keep it how it was budgeted last year, 640 is budgeted for the council, and 640 is budgeted for the sheriff's office.
How much you have, does it show you have that much in there right now?
There is that much now, I think it was 1.9 now.
Woo-hoo.
All right.
All right, motion to approve.
Second. A vote yes.
But just know that if it's ever for highway vehicles, you would just need to amend that
Got it.
thing.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Nay. Just had to do it. We had to switch.
We
It's an
now
aye.
hear those
It's
and
really
it's
an aye.
yay.
Yay. Yay.
Just so that I'm clear, what is the purpose for that 640? Like, what are we using it for? We just approved it, but like,
They were just putting
always-
it in the budget.
It was always, so like back in the day in Michigan City, it was a way of kind of like a, for lack of a better term, a rainy day. It's for capital projects. Big fire trucks, big projects.
Who has the authorization to go and submit a claim to that line item?
Again, when we did it,
They have to come.
they gotta come from the council, and what it was all the time was either the emergency vehicles or highway department.
It was almost always used for that. I believe at one time we may have, an elevator repair. Did that come out? We might have had a little bit of money in there years ago for,
There was never,
something we had.
we exhausted the money a while ago.
Right.
So they decided to put more money back in.
That's the first I've heard that there's more money back in there, so that's
It is the first time it was.
breath of fresh air.
Okay.
Where do you wanna go next? Lit public safety? Or lit,
Well,
let's
that's
go
a
to lit,
big one.
let's go to economic development lit. It's an easier one.
And then opioid is also one.
It's
a big
pretty
one.
easy, yeah.
But it's all, I think it's all 100 account.
Lit economic development.
Third from last tab.
Numbers that,
1112, mine is right in front of cap, right in front, so 3 from the back.
Third from the back.
That must be your sister-in-law, bro.
Some of those, they've never stopped in there.
Who's on? Okay, it looks like there's 3, so.
No, that other one's just a fill-in. It's been showing up on mine when I have meetings too.
It's a spy.
Yeah. So, other supplies.
But we've approved this separately, all of these items separately on this one. This is just putting everything on one page.
This is just like a summary sheet, right, of everything else?
This is just showing you all of it together, that where that's gonna be important mostly is with lit public safety, so you can see the full total.
And what is the current value? You got that on your thing or no?
What's up?
Economic development lit.
I don't have it here. Well,
What's your question?
What available balance aside from what we're spending?
I'll find it.
To know precisely, we would need to know the amount of revenue going into it though, right? And we don't have those new numbers.
No, but I think
Why
it's
don't you have
still
them,
high.
Justin?
What's it?
Why don't you have them?
They haven't released them yet. It's the LGF.
Okay.
I don't know how much the state of Indiana has paid in salaries in the last.
I thought you knew a guy.
He left.
He did leave.
Yeah.
Does somebody want to make a motion on this, the way it is, sitting here? Just
No, because I didn't know if we made changes elsewhere.
But I think the balance is like
Just
10.
approving this sheet.
Your alter.
Why do you need to approve a sheet when we did it in all different places and there may have been changes? So why do you want to approve something that we've approved elsewhere? It's just a summary sheet.
So we'll just hold it over.
Yeah, you may not wanna do the ones in 100s especially.
Sorry.
Well, there's 100 accounts, but there's 200 accounts that I don't believe.
They were
One-
all covered elsewhere.
One of them is a bond payment that
And
is
one,
covered in,
one is highways, 5 million,
which
We
was
did that.
covered in theirs.
Yeah.
All of them should have been covered,
someplace.
Yes.
yes.
They all get assigned, so
Yeah.
we're good.
You know what, the one that I have a question about that I forgot to ask when we did it is, not Darlene's, but building maintenance. How the FMEC gives that $10,000. If you'll remember with, Darlene's, we changed hers
We
to the
incorporated her,
88.
right. That's something we're gonna talk about in the 100 accounts. To see if
My
that's still.
question is, should it be the same for maintenance? And the reason I ask that is, otherwise the salary ordinance may not be correct unless the money's deposited by December from FMEC, or will it be one that you change to 77 knowing that you're gonna deposit that money? So I don't need the answer right now, but just keep that in the back of your mind.
All right, we'll figure that out.
And
Thank
it
you.
is at 7 million. Lit Economic Development currently has 7.2 million.
And the budget's 5.9. It's good to know.
So you're going to go home, take a nap, and come
And then
back.
public safety. Lit is
All the way in the back.
Is that how?
allocated within departments also.
Correct me if I'm wrong, that's our last one besides
Opioid, but that one might have
opioids
all
would be
been.
easy.
Thought we did all the opioids.
No, we didn't. We never, we did.
Just need to make sure that it was all in departments, yeah.
Seriously, we did two.
No.
One in a court and one in probation. So
And one in prosecutor. And there's one in the prosecutor too, but.
prosecutors, that's what I meant.
Good afternoon.
Well,
we did
and
the
probation, yeah.
Good
All right.
afternoon.
So right now we're on
Hello.
public safety. We're just taking a quick look at that. Just,
I assume everything's been taken care of in other budgets. And I will need to go through the numbers again because some of the numbers today changed, so I'll update the payroll deductions. So you can see the final number. We did take that to 0. Yeah, everything's taken care of somewhere. Did we do this 160,000 for the fire departments when we did council?
No, we did not.
so obviously, this is just my opinion, but the public safety lit is something that's probably gonna be tweaked between here and
Yeah.
later in the year. I mean, we have to massage it, for lack of a better word.
'Cause that's pretty-
Wanted to use that all day.
I think it'd be maxed out. There was one thing that was, well, after adding,
The extra pension.
yes, it would be
Right,
maxed out pretty
exactly.
much.
Right.
Well, that's, so the number I've got right now is 7,373,558.
Us, under one.
And there will be more deductions added to,
We're not doing this.
from the changes we made
Did
today.
ours, but we didn't do
Payroll
this.
deductions, that is right.
All right. Where's that at?
See, right behind us, right behind Council 144.
The other thing is just for food of thought, conversations that I had with Councilman Cunningham, with the volunteer fire department thing, he was talking about maybe doing something out of some ARP money between now and the end of the year, so that might free up that money for next year.
So we're gonna appropriate, so,
It's as long as it's considered obligated, so we just have to make sure it meets that definition of obligated.
Right.
right, so Earl, if I'm understanding correctly from what Randy just said, we're gonna basically dedicate 160,000 for next year out of this year's ARP before the end of the year, so that we can free up that 160 out of lit for next year?
It was something that was talked about.
Yeah, he did talk about.
It was our funds. Excuse me. Since I'm not gonna be here next year,
And the money needs to be appropriated
we
this
have to appropriate all the ARP money by December 31st of this year.
Correct.
My preference was to take 160, there's 16 departments, 160 for 25. You have to spend the money by 26. And then 160 for
December.
26. And then give them a separate check in December of 26 to cover 27. You could actually get 3 payments in there and still spend the money by December 31st of.
I'm gonna make sure.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
My position is, I don't know how there's any way you can get past 27, but you could actually pay them in December, give them 2 checks in the same year, one in January, one in December.
Yep.
And I think most of us agree that volunteer fire departments are the closest to the scene in most accidents, falls, deaths, whatever it might
We had
be.
some serious conversation just day before yesterday on Monday about ways of trying to staff volunteer fire department, because it's getting to
Exactly.
the point where there's no volunteers during the day and it's
Right.
getting even harder. So we're gonna have to come up with a county, some way to do it, so.
So, yeah, I'm gonna be gone, that's just my position is that.
Hold this over.
Allegedly, possibly. You never know. You never know. Word choices. Listen, Missy.
You know what, we can-
Listen, Missy. All right. So let's go, the county council lit public safety is something that we did not touch on. Yeah, we just need to, that's the volunteer fire departments, but if we're gonna do
I'm gonna do it out of ARP.
different, so but it is attached right behind the county council's thing, so,
Our money's gonna go away, whereas the lit money won't. So
And it gives us
more
160.
flexibility with the lit.
And we need to squeeze something out of here.
right, we do. All right. Let's move on to
Let revenue that means.
human resources.
162, right there.
How are you today, Monique?
I'm good.
Ms. Thomas.
Miss Thomas, I'm sorry.
Since you weren't here,
Monique is fine.
the 200s and 300s were already approved for your.
Oh, great.
Right.
Thank you.
With the following cuts.
Huh?
Nothing, just kidding.
So
It's a joke.
I don't ask for much.
we were just talking about your request during the job evaluation committee. And probably be more appropriate for them to come from you versus those of us up here that were part of that evaluation. So the floor is yours.
Well, first, let me start. Thank you guys for approving my 200, 300 budgets. Our office has gone through a drastic change over the past 2.5 years. With the increase of employees, with the way we do orientations, with COVID, all of those changes, and there has been a huge need for 3 people in that office. I had asked for a step increase for our secretary, the assistant, and also asking for a full-time position for the HR admin assistant. That position in itself, like I said, the dynamics of the office has changed as well. So I am looking to move my part-time into a full-time comment level 4. And my assistant as a unclassified assistant.
What is
You mentioned increase in employees. How many employees do we have today?
We have over 720 employees. That's full-time, part-time, board members, volunteers, election board,
That's not an increase because we've had as many as 800 in recent memory.
Well, now there's more to do with those employees as well.
That's not an increase in employees.
There's an increase in duties.
Okay,
shall I
that's
say.
different. Thank you.
What is the total dollar amount for that increase in classification for your assistant and then the other change that you were proposing?
I don't have that number in front of me, but
$10,000 more? Would it take it to?
it would take her to she's not even classified right now.
175, is that what's on? Am I saying that right?
It's not even a classification right now, so she's at an hourly rate of $16.50.
Pretty close. Yeah, because
I mean, on our book, it says request full-time position would like to increase to
The
increase
32.
it to 32,175, and it's currently $22,000 in that
Correct.
budget.
Yeah.
Okay. There was also a change to your number 2 person, right?
Yes.
Rough idea on the dollar amount for that one?
I don't know because it's an unclassified. If it moves to an unclassified position, that would be something that I would have to research and find out where we could round about that salary.
2 questions she can't answer.
You don't have a dollar amount on that?
No, not at this time. I don't have a dollar amount for the number 2 position.
Can we get a dollar amount?
We can. I can research
It
and
just,
find it.
it's kind of hard to prove something without a.
Well, right now, looking at neighboring counties for Porter County and some of the neighboring counties around here, they're roughly at 58,000 for a number 2 for an assistant HR director.
What's the
manager.
population of Porter County?
Not sure.
it's about 3/4.
175,000 or so, right?
Porter County?
Porter County.
Porter County is actually smaller than LaPorte.
They're smaller than our county.
Yeah, the last number I looked at.
Not even close.
Really?
Square file is nowhere small now.
Okay, because the last number I saw was about 75,000.
What's the population?
174,791.
175,000, that's what I
I
said.
am very corrected.
You're welcome.
You were close. You're thinking area.
Oh, they're smaller in area.
That was as of 22, just so.
And they're growing a lot faster than we are. I'll tell you that. They're
Their
growing.
tax base is a lot bigger too.
I guarantee you people in Stark County would like to get paid like the people in LaPorte County, wouldn't they, Rhonda?
They would. They would.
What's the population start contract?
I do not know, but the parcels were about 27,000, I believe.
Population's around 24.
24.
I can find out.
Wow.
Mhm.
All right, so. What would you like to
Position
do
was
with it?
evaluated during our job evaluation committee. The position was evaluated and all the duties that the employee does and everything that we compared it with during the evaluation, the position panned out to a comment for.
Would the committee recommend?
A comment for.
Okay. Would they recommend on your part-time, full-time?
What do you, I'm not,
I didn't.
you trying to trip me up?
No, I think what he's asking is when we spoke, right, we looked at him and said instead of doing two as a package, we looked at one and held the
Yes.
other over.
Mm-hmm.
So do you guys want to make a decision at this point?
I have a couple questions. What is the maximum number of hours you can work and be considered part-time?
32.
32?
Oh,
It was 20,
28 to 30?
Yeah.
29, I
Yeah.
thought.
Well, we got like,
Well, there is an average 28 hours, that's standard. In every department, 28 hours a week for a part-timer. Depending on what the workflow is and what departments got going on, sometimes may go over to like a few more.
And what they're budgeted.
Just because of switchboard.
Yeah.
I don't reach that maximum is what I.
So you can work 28 hours times 52 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just do quick math here for you.
Come on, Justin. What's the answer?
girls always come.
Times 52.
956 hours. So they can work maybe 31 week and 26 the next to get the average
Yeah.
within payroll. Okay.
As long as it's within
So
same
like
pay.
156 potential hours times $16.50 equals $24,024. Okay? And you want to move to
32,175.
So the problem with that is you had $8,000 in salary, get a few more hours of work, but in reality, you can now pay benefits. So
She's already getting the benefits, isn't she? Wasn't she approved for full-time?
She was approved in, however, there is no benefits being.
No, she was approved to work the full-time hours until
exactly
appointed the position.
She's not taking benefits?
No, she doesn't need the benefits.
She doesn't need the benefits.
Right. But we don't want to run down that rabbit hole. So
She is receiving benefits like per full-time employee benefits for the perf and things
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
what I
Those
thought
are,
it was approved.
But not
I understand
insurance.
that.
Thanks. All right.
if she needed the insurance, she would.
I don't think you'd have any trouble finding somebody to work a part-time job for $16.50 an hour.
At this day and time, yes, you do. You have problems with people filling in full-time $60,000 jobs. So
say that one more time.
There's a problem with filling a $60,000 job here. So you can't just say I don't think there's be a problem with.
How many retired county employees within the last 5 years do you think there are?
This year alone, there's probably been 20.
Exactly. What I'm saying is some of those people are retiring because they don't want to work full-time. And here's my point, guys.
You're getting ready to retire off the council. You could.
No, I'm not interested in that position. But here's what you think about it. It's not like the difference between 28 and 40 hours. Our employees are only working 37 and a half hours to begin with. So the difference between 28 hours, 37 and a half is only 9.5 hours of extra work, but now you're paying full-time benefits. I just think we're running down a slippery slope here. I would much prefer to do this. How about we hire 2 people?
No, that won't work.
To work part-time, different shifts and cover your entire
That will not work because you have to take the time. Now you have to stop and train another person to do a job that one person was doing full-time.
Okay, let's go on to the job, first one, the job class increased. What you guys recommended a 4?
4.
Okay, motion for the job class 4.
Do we have to do that at a
We
regular?
were gonna do it at a regular meeting, but you can do a motion of support for it.
Or we can put it in here?
Motion by Yagowski for a motion of support for the job
Class 4.
evaluation.
That covers for 2024.
And then we wanna put
We
it
can put it in here for 25 now.
That's what we're,
You don't need the motion of support. We make the motion and it's good.
so the step,
That's what I was asking earlier. Are you waiting for the August
we're
one
gonna
to do
put him,
20?
we're gonna put him on the August
Yeah.
meeting to do them all.
To pay, to make a change in 24, but we're trying to make
Right.
the change in 25 so you don't have to make a change later.
But he said, earlier you said you want 25s at the next council meeting, right?
The list, yes,
That's what I thought you
so
said.
they get approved, yeah. Just to, so it's
I'm good.
once,
Sure.
so we did that. Do you wanna do anything with the, part-time to
That's
full-time?
what I'm going with right now.
Anybody else?
Get one thing done at a time.
I think they're gonna hold off on that.
Get a second? Second. Okay.
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
Yeah.
No, first.
My
I
motion.
did, that was supposed to 200 and 300.
That's 2 and 3.
I already approved that.
What about the $10,000 increase for, to take the person from 22,000 to 32,000?
Yagowski made the motion.
Yagowski made the motion for the, taking it to a comment 4.
Yep.
That was it.
Person.
Didn't do anything with this person.
Make a motion to deny on the second matter.
Motion by Cunningham to deny. Is there a second to the denial?
Second.
Second by Yagowski. All those in favor of denying?
Can we restate the motion just so it's all clear of what we're?
This is to deny the, going from 22,000 to 32,175, make it a full-time, is this a receptionist or assistant?
This is the HR admin assistant position.
Okay. All those in favor of denying, say aye.
Aye.
So let me get this clear, this position will not be classified as a comment 4.
This has, the comment
Nothing to do
for
with
was
this.
approved.
I already approved it already.
This is,
Oh, okay.
this is the other one,
Make it full-time.
full-time.
Janet's going to,
I think we might have a source of confusion here. So
Yeah, I'm confused
there's
because,
3 employees. There's you at the top.
Yes.
There's your assistant who is currently a comment
Are they the same?
5.
comment
the-
5.
Is the comment 4 and the part-time to full-time the same person?
Yes, yes.
That's the confusion.
There's the confusion. Yeah.
So Mark, you, so Mr. Yagowski already approved it.
No, I did not. That was not explained.
part-time HR, full-time.
I'm gonna kill you.
I didn't understand.
That's why
I thought, I honest to God thought it was 2 different.
No, no, the HR admin.
No wonder,
assistant
no wonder
is-
the confusion look going, how,
2 different people on here, though. The second
Yes.
sentence is change of the HR assistant position to unclassified with a
I get it, I get it. I believe we thought we were making somebody a comment 4 and then this other person was gonna go.
No.
I rescind my motions. Rescind my
I'm
motion.
gonna make a new clean vote for the whole thing.
No, I'm done with this one.
So you,
I believe what you're, I still believe what, the part-time should stay part-time. I still want the motions, the motion, I second it.
Right now, there is no part-time person.
You've only had one full-time person. We have told you guys to hire a part-time person.
That part-time person went to full-time of June of last year.
when we were short in there.
I know, but then it was supposed to go back to part-time.
Correct.
Correct? Correct.
Absolutely. That's
That has not been the case.
That was the case. Go look for minutes.
It's your fault, yeah.
No, because that position, like I said, I cannot afford to have somebody go to part-time in that position because of the need in
But you
that.
can't just make up the rules and say, I'm gonna add another.
No, I'm not making up no rules, Mr. Cunningham. I'm not making up the rules. I'm doing what I need to do for my job and my position to make me successful, which I don't think that you would like to see me be.
Mr. Rosenbaum, did we just previously had this discussion?
We get the job evaluations with this position, and in my position as the HR director to do the job evaluations, I did it based on my needs in my department.
You said you needed 3 employees to be successful.
Me and my other 2 in the HR department.
What if you needed 3 additional people instead of 1 additional person?
I'm asking for what I'm needing right now, which is my part-timer to go to a full-time position.
You can ask all you want to. That's the problem.
All right, let's obviously this isn't gonna get decided here today and.
I think my motion was clear, to deny the part-time, going to full-time.
There is no part-time is what I'm telling you.
Well, there should be, based on.
So just say you want to deny the HR admin assistant.
Reword your motion.
I'm done.
To make the person.
Because this was clear at the meeting. Look at your minutes of the meeting.
Absolutely.
No, it was not.
Can we restate what was the vote that we took before? That was to deny the moving to full-time and was to approve the comment for part?
No, we did not, we assumed that the second person.
We didn't assume.
We were told. The second person was supposed to go to 4. That's all we were told this was. She said he's already a 5.
My second part, yeah, she's already.
That's fine. So we did not know that. That was information that wasn't given to us.
Okay, so the first vote that was on reclassifying is.
That was null and void.
Okay, and the second
We had a motion
deny
to-
going to full-time was rejected.
Right. No, it hasn't. It was, we had a motion, there was a second, we didn't vote.
We did vote.
I think we did vote.
We didn't ask.
We never got to the, all those in favor, all those opposed to denying. So we never finished it.
Okay.
So let's do it again. All those in favor of denying the request, say aye.
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 All those not in favor of denying the request at this time, say nay.
Nay.
So the denial is denied, and it's held over. It just hasn't, we're not.
That's fine.
Was that
If somebody wants to make a different
4 to 3
recommendation
or 5 to 2?
today and now.
4 to 3.
But you gotta understand, I personally think this request, given that we're in the middle of this year, needs to be done in a council meeting. This is not, you know what I'm saying?
No problem.
The funding.
The
for
issue
this-
needs to be
right.
sorted out for this year.
So we need to do this at a council meeting for next year, and then obviously the decision that comes out of the council meeting will lead us into what happens with the 100 account for next year.
Respectfully, I would.
Record, Mr. President, I want to clarify. Just a moment ago, Ms. Thomas said that she didn't believe I want her to succeed. I certainly want her to succeed, but remember, we gave her permission to hire an additional part-time person for an extended period of time when she was the interim HR, and she refused to do that.
No, I just didn't want to smite my own face with that.
Okay, so she got by with one full-time person and no part-time person for a year or so. So, I just want to make very clear, I hope she succeeds, because if she doesn't, everybody in the county is adversely affected. Thank you.
Respectfully, I would encourage you to take a look at the minutes from that time period and make sure you have an authorization to have her work full-time. Otherwise, there's a possibility that you could run out of money for that person and then she won't be able to work at all.
I can come back and ask you guys.
You can come back.
But it could potentially not get approved then, so that would be kind of an awkward situation.
You ask. You have not because you ask not. So all I can do is ask.
Thank you, Monique.
I'm not done.
You're not done?
No, I'm not. No.
What else?
No, because I'm here for my own salary. Which was, I was told not to put on the budget because whatever reason, but however, I feel that when this position came open, there was an advertisement for a dollar amount for this position. And I think it's only fair that be reconsidered. The salary that was thrown on the table should be reconsidered for this position. The counties the surrounding counties, each one of those HR directors makes 80 plus. Sitting in between Porter County, St. Joe County, Lake County, Elkhart County, Tippecanoe County, some of the other counties, my salary range is one of the lower ranks in this area as far as an HR director. So I think it's only fair if you guys consider an increase for me. And that's all I can just ask at the board at this time. If someone can do the research and find out what the average salary is for them, what it would be a recommended amount.
Could you get that for us?
Yes, I can.
You can see it. Mr. Cunningham?
I don't know whether Ms. Thomas was watching earlier, but I'm going to use the same analogy that I used with Mr. Rosenbaum. He ran for an office. He's running for an office. He knew exactly what that job paid when he ran for the office. To come in and ask for a raise before he gets to the office, I think is shaky. Although I'm not saying he's not deserving of it. I'm just saying that's something that I asked Barb Houston to say a long time ago, and she refused to do it. I think the same thing. Ms. Thomas wanted this position, knew what the position paid. After she's been in a full-time position for a year, and you guys want to evaluate her and give her a raise, I have no issue with that whatsoever.
I guess the only thing that I think is and I'm not saying makes us look bad, but it kind of raises the issue is when the position was advertised, we advertised to pay, we hired somebody from the outside, we did not advertise to pay them what she's making now.
We advertised a range of pays.
A higher,
based on our experience, which we wouldn't have hired somebody with less experience than she had at that time.
But they just started at more money than what she's making now. That's the only thing.
I might offer up a recommendation that the HR committee do a performance evaluation where so many and so months into your term as permanent HR director, it might be prudent for us to do a performance evaluation and kind of help set goals for you about where we want to see you go, and maybe attach those goals to pay increases in the future.
What's your salary now?
$71,508.
I have no problem personally with giving her a raise today, as we did Miss Houston, to bring up to 73, which is what we just did with Houston. We took Houston from 68 to 73, correct?
Yes.
But Houston went from 68 to 73.
Right, because she was going to be making less than, if we didn't raise her, she was going to be making less than her assistant. I'd make a motion right now for $1,500, let's say. Put up 73, because I don't think there's too many people making less than 73, and if she's the HR director, I don't think that she should be making less than other department heads. She has a very small department, I understand, there's only 2 people. They work straight days.
A lot of responsibility.
I can get her started at 73, I have no issue with that.
But if we take a look at what other department heads are making,
you can see what down the road.
Instead of just comparing her to Barb Houston for 911 director, I shouldn't use a name, but all right.
No, that was one where we just got caught up where the number 2 man was going to surpass her.
All right. Anything else that will
Motion to recess.
to be continued?
Okay.
Motion to recess.
Do we have anything else on our? I don't think, I think we're.
Question.
What's your,
No, go ahead. I don't care.
what's your question?
I didn't have a question. Just, I know earlier you were talking about the, assistants.
Talking to the mic, please.
Earlier you were talking about the assistants for the departments. My assistant is exempt. He does not qualify for the overtime, comp time, all that stuff. So, but I actually specifically came back and asked the council individually to make him at 85% of my salary. This was years ago. I know you were talking about whether Matt was 911 assistant was exempt or not.
Is yours unclassified?
Yeah. My assistant is unclassified, yes. So I was just putting the knowledge out there.
Consistent, that's all it is.
Yeah.
Did that go through the employee review thing?
Yeah. He did already. We did on that.
Yeah, that was years ago. I was just providing information.
That expires after 12 months. I think we got everything? All right. Motion to recess. Is there a second? Second.
Am I done though? I'm done. Are we done?
What?
Like we're done or just recess?
We're done?
No, you said recess, so do I have to come back after?
No.
Meetings recess, and that there will be
Okay.
there will be subsequent hearings in the future.
So we'll continue this at our
Done for today.
August.